Please.
Okay, yeah, this looks like to be the one. Yeah.
Put it.
Yep, we're in there. Yeah, I can hear myself and everything. Okay, now I'm gonna put it into.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can pin it. Yeah, pin message.
Yeah. Okay, I see the live stream too. I'll take the link and pass it around.
Okay, let me go back to my Facebook groups.
All right. What's up, Bex? What's up, John? Thank you. I'm just gonna put another thing here at the link pinned. Sound like I'm booking someone for a flight.
I know, right?
Okay, where are you going?
First class of economy.
Can't do that. I can get you there tomorrow at noon. Looks like that's all we have. All right. What up, everybody? Thank you guys so much for joining. So sorry about the delay. Turns out you got to have a paid subscription to StreamYard to link to a pre-setup thing. I didn't know that because it didn't used to be that way. So we've been sitting here for the last half hour trying to figure out why won't this link? Why can't you enter the information? So here we are. And yeah, I appreciate you all hanging out so much. Thank you, Long. Shout out to the homie Long. He said,
right.
He said, excellent white voice, Ibrahim. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, that's terrible. But also,
Jay, what up, Jay? Jay Nystrom. That's the homie for a long time now.
All right.
Jesus 32. Congrats on 10K. Thank you, my friend. I'm so excited to see all these names in this chat, you guys. Robert Ott, what's up, dude? Toy Malarkey, my guy.
Oh, man.
We got Chicago Landy in the building.
What up, Landy?
Hey.
This is going too fast for me to even. There we go.
It happens like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you looking at the chat anyway? Are you looking at it in StreamYard or you on YouTube?
In StreamYard, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if you want to have a separate window open to pull them in, then.
Oh, no. I just was, you know.
The homie Doug. What's up, Doug?
Oh, what's up, Doug?
Holy crap.
Blur Dad Life. Hey, shout out to Blur Dad Life. He's been a long time subscriber. Congrats on 10K. Keep creative. Thank you so much, man. Happy to have you here. Happy you're all here, really. Like, what up, Matt? Homie.
Hey, Matt.
Grigsby, right?
Matt.
Saw the homie Ramon in here, and I lost.
Oh, was he?
Hey, thank you, brother. All right. So, let's get into it.
Yeah.
So sorry once again for that mix up, but it looks like we're rocking and rolling now. We got 29 people in here. That's pretty dope. So, okay, first and foremost, I want to announce the giveaway once again. So I'm giving away this custom Superman. And the way this is going to work is, as I mentioned before, and if anybody didn't see this part, this is got to be for U.S. residents. I apologize. I'd love to do something for the long distance folks, but shipping and tariffs and all that stuff is crazy expensive, and I got to keep it realistic for myself. So, but I am trying to figure out something to do for long distance folks. Like maybe I'll send them some PDFs of some of my graphic novels or something. So I'll figure that out for another stream. But I just wanted to let you know I'm thinking about you guys. I'm not trying to, be holding out on anybody. Oh, what's up, Taryn? We're just talking about you.
David Spitzer has entered the chat.
Oh, that's right.
The bang. So the rules for that will be in a little bit. I'm gonna have. Well, we should do it now, real quick. I want to have everybody chime in. So exactly what the docs did right here. Hey, from California. say hello from the state you're in. And then I'm going to use that to enter everybody's names into a randomizing spinning wheel. And that will be how I determine the winner. So start saying, what's up? Long was here, also in California. My dude Long. And I'm going to put where y'all are from too. And then I'm going to be sending this thing out lickety split too. So it's not going to be, I'm going to have to wait.
Pennsylvania, Florida over there.
Got Brothers Web, Pennsylvania.
Texas. Yeah.
So while I'm doing this, I want to talk about your guys' secret origins. So Alan and Sean are very dear friends of mine. We've known each other for over a decade. I think Alan I've known closer to probably 20 years at this point, at least 15.
Yeah, I know. We're like old men in the game with that.
Man. Yeah. And we all met at the same comic shop at different times. And so we'll get into that, but I want to get into like how you guys, so Alan is a collector, big time collector, also a customizer. Sean is a big part of how I got into customizing because he's an OG in the game. And when I started doing it, he was like super helpful with tips and supplies and, parts and all that kind of stuff. So, these guys have both been pretty important in my collecting and customizing journey. So I want to talk about how you guys got into collecting and then eventually customizing. So Sean, let's kick it off with you, man. I want to hear your story because I don't actually know this about you guys.
All right. Yeah, I'll go first. Like, honestly, I gotta say it started a long time ago, back in the day. And you know what? What I'm about to say, I think will resonate with a lot of people who got into customizing. It was G.I. Joe, man. The 3 3/4 figures when I was growing up. Once I figured out that they had a screw in the back, and they were held together by that little rubber band, it was on and popping.
Got that right.
Pun intended. So I started, unscrewing them. Got myself a little. The best screwdriver for that, by the way, was the old eyeglass screwdriver.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, those little guys?
Yeah, with the little 3 3/4. So yeah, I would start taking it apart. I even figured out how to fix the rubber bands because it was just a rubber band, and then I would just switch legs, switch boots, whatever. They were still terrible, but I was doing it.
See, I didn't even know that those were customizable on that level. Like,
man,
parts off of those very easily.
Oh yeah, they're big customizable. And then I used to just take apart my other toys too, and mostly tear apart my brother's toys, which he still kind of is mad at me about because I tore up some really good stuff, But when I really got back into customizing, I let it go as I was growing up, teenage and all that. I got back into customizing right when Marvel Legends dropped, the Toy Biz line.
Yeah.
Because once I saw that articulation and, that first wave wasn't really something you mess with because they were so new and you'd never seen a figure like that. I didn't really tear those apart. But as the line continued, I was popping heads like crazy.
Were those the first, like pretty well articulated, like uniform size figure that weren't 3 3/4?
Yeah, I believe so, because before that, they just said Toy Biz was just making like the 5-inch figures, and they didn't have double elbows or nothing like that, and that was if they had elbows. And then we got the first wave of Toy Biz Marvel Legends, which I believe was Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man. There were 2 Spider-Mans, the Toad for some reason, and there was one more I can't remember. It doesn't matter, but. Yes, I started playing around with those, and I fell in love and was doing Legends for years. And then, like most of us, was begging for other lines to be made like that. But because there was no Star Wars toys like that, there was no DC toys, no figures like that with that articulation.
Right.
And, we're kind of like in the land now, but... I just started messing with that. And then eventually what really led me to where I'm at right now, I got to give a shout out to Ashley Wood's company, 3A. 3A and Underverse. I think those came out right around when I was just starting to manage things from another world. And I saw them in the Diamond catalog, and I was like, that looks cool as hell. And is that real clothing on a figure? And it's super posable. Yeah, I'm finna order that. And I ordered like an entire case and just bought them all.
What year was that those came out?
Man, they had to be around like 2012, 2013 when they started. Well, he had a 1/6 scale line already, but that was the first time he had done 1/12 scale. And so I was like, these little 5.5 inch action figures with, removable boots, real t-shirts and jeans, and like dope hands and weapons, and they look post-apocalyptic. I bought almost the whole line.
Were those also kind of one of the first soft goods lines?
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Wow.
Like way before Mezco, I was all up in 3A.
Yeah.
And there were some other art toys or other companies that had like little lines here and there, but nothing like what Ashley Wood was doing.
Yeah.
Because he also paired his work with comics. Because he was doing those zombies versus robots.
That's what I know him from. This
right.
Comic. Yeah. So I didn't even know he was doing like toy line for a long time. That's interesting too, because like McFarlane was a big game changer in action figures and also a comic book artist. So
but he, in my opinion, he focused more on sculpt. He didn't really do the articulation thing not until recently, but like his sculpts were out of this world. You know? But yeah,
when he got into the articulated stuff, I was excited because I thought it was going to be like the perfect, like melding of the two, and I feel like,
you got shafted, son.
One for the other.
I'll talk about that when we get into modern customizing too. I have some things about McFarlane that I want to talk about, but that's pretty much my story, man. That's how I got into customizing, and then like, as Ibrahim said, I kind of went nuts. If you look over here, that is my fodder bin.
Oh, you've downsized.
Actually, yes, I did. I downsized a bit, but like, it's always a weird conversation in my house. Like, where's my bucket of heads?
That's a weird comment to make, sir.
Yeah.
How about you, Alan?
I was gonna say it was G.I. Joe's as well. Like my best friend in Boston, his brother had like all the G.I. Joes. We always got those, but I think it was the one clear memory I have is one of my favorite G.I. Joes. My dog got a hold of.
Oh.
He chewed the hell out of that face, man. It was actually the G.I. Joe Mercer 3-pack from the G.I. Joe movie, and he was like my favorite character. And I'm like, and then once I realized how to take him apart, that head and that like I would just swap him. He just kept getting remade, and when the thumbs fell off, I'm like, well, I got to switch that out and do that.
Oh no, yeah, so you can't fix that. Yeah.
No, but I still use the face because and now knowing like the origin of like Snake Eyes, like the comic version where his face is all like gnarled up, I'm like that
could have worked.
Was like,
yeah,
that figure was my entry right there. And then I think when I kind of met Sean later on, look, I went to the same path. Like I got rid of a lot of my Joes. I still have a few here and there. But I think it's when I realized you could actually customize the Marvel Legends through Sean. And then more recently, it's been the Valorverse stuff. I'm still in that infant stage of I don't want to take things apart because I'm going to break them and I can't put them back together. Yeah. So I'm really still like, I'm still like, oh, what if I do that? You make the mistakes and you learn. But yeah, since the classified line, a few other lines, and then seeing some of the fodder that you and Ibrahim had, Sean, like I'm able to piece a few things together and kind of put my own spin on things. I like dystopian kind of things like that. So that's where my little Mad Max Book of Eli type of, oh, if he has that, he looks like that character, and doing little things like that. Yeah. So and then I'm not deep into Mezco right now. But like I do see some Mezco stuff that Sean has, and I'm like, oh, I see the inspiration behind these things, and I see that. And then like the soft goods is a whole nother thing. Like the soft goods game, man.
Right?
Can I touch that? Can I afford that? So right now I stay in my little soft spot, my little corner of the G.I. Joes and the Marvel Legends, but I got a few soft goods stuff that Sean lets me kind of put on some of my figures and do stuff, and I do like a lot of that stuff. So.
Honestly, and I think Ibrahim knows this too, but the reason I keep such a large fodder bin is because one of my favorite things to do is to connect with other customizers and just ask them what they're making and see if I have something that go towards that project.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you
Yeah.
are great about that. Like, there's a lot of times you'll hit me up like, "Hey, do you need this?" You know, which I love, obviously.
Like, this is like something you would use to make something. Take this.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to shout out the homie Nora coming from Texas, where time zones don't exist. We were joking about that earlier. She said you didn't put Central Time on your live thing, and I was like, nobody knows what that is. Come on now.
It is a hard time zone to keep track of.
Shout out to the homie Ben Odinson, our guy, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
I'm gonna put you in the running for the prize, Ben. You might have missed that part, but I know where you're at.
E-Ride, my dude.
I saw the comment from Spitzer blaming me for his 1/6 scale addiction now.
I think you have like a pusher effect on people.
Dude, he does.
Also, big shout out to the homie Damon. Known this dude
Yeah.
since he was fucking like 9 years old. Real quick, I got everybody. Yeah, there it is. The homie B Rye repping from the East Coast. Yes, sir.
Dope.
I got everybody who's chimed in so far on where they're from. So if you haven't said where you're from in the chat yet, do that so I can enter you to win. But so far we got 27 contestants in here, so that's pretty exciting.
Hell yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah.
You saw that comment, Sean?
Yeah.
You are, man. You are. Like, how many times I'm like, I'm not going to get into Mezco. I'm not going to get into Mezco. You're like, hey, you might like this.
Being a
Like,
pusher, yeah.
Whoops.
I got a few Mayfex too. But
Yeah, you're gonna tell us your story too, right, Ibrahim?
Yeah, so I was a Ninja Turtle kid for sure. Like, that was my first toy that I remember getting was not the Kenner superpowers, but like the Toy Biz knockoff ones. What were those called?
Yeah,
It's like a Toy Biz superhero or something like that. But
I don't remember. Yeah, but
yeah,
know what you're
I had
talking
the
about.
Superman, and
Okay.
I loved it. I loved that it had a cloth cape and it would do this when you like squeeze the legs or whatever. I mean, they just straight ripped off the Kenner. Unless I did actually have a legit Kenner, and that is possible. But
Right.
yeah, man, it was that was what my first toy. And then but even as a little kid, I was always so bummed that they didn't look real and they didn't like resemble the Ninja Turtles movie came out and the cartoon was a thing and the toys didn't look like either of those. And
They didn't.
no, and the arms were in a permanent like 90-degree angle and the legs were too. And I wanted more realism. So when those movie Star Turtles came out, that to me was just like, this is the dopest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, they had the rubbery texture and stuff. And so yeah, like that was my my big thing. And then as I got older, like the McFarlane stuff, I kind of left toys by the wayside for a bit when I got more into soccer and dancing and stuff. And then before dancing though, the McFarlane stuff came out, and I was super into the Matrix because I'm a child of the it came out when I was like 14, and it was just like, wow, everything I think is cool is in this movie. That's crazy.
Was there another company that did Matrix figures though?
Yeah,
before?
N2 Toys. They did 12-inch ones, and they did
the 6-inch ones, right?
6-inch ones.
I ordered a case of those.
Did you?
Yeah,
those were really dope. But again, when the McFarlane stuff came out, and I saw the ads in the back of like a video game magazine or something, and I was just like, and they had like a smoke effect with Neo doing the cartwheel. Yeah, and I was just like, you can do that, like, because a lot of companies, they don't do. McFarlane came out. He said, I said, what? Here's something that's it's a photograph. That was how he how he explained it. But so yeah, man, just seeing that you could do that, I didn't even care that it was basically a statue with like an arm that would pivot or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I mean they did look pretty damn sweet.
Yeah. So that was my thing, and then I used to try to sculpt my own because I was into making sculptures of like in Sculpey and Fimo clay back then as a kid. And then I actually found a picture from when I was like 18. I was trying to make like a Neo, and it was just I was like cracked ass clay, all clumpy and stuff.
Oh no!
So I've been into doing that kind of thing for a long time, but it was when the the NECA movie turtles were coming out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was one, because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get those because it was such a limited release, right? It was a San Diego exclusive at the time, and barring not being able to get those, I was like, well, I had those 7-inch Playmates like movie anniversary ones that came out, and like maybe not an anniversary thing, but they were like it was maybe 25-year anniversary or something. They were like more articulated. They were supposed to look like the movie, but they're still kind of toyish and stuff.
Okay.
And I saw somebody sculpt a Donatello head that looked the movie accurate and put it on that body and repaint the body. And I was like, I'm doing that. So I sculpted all the heads, and I was learning how to cast and, do molds and stuff. And then I ended up getting the NECA ones. So I was like, okay, well, I don't have to do that anymore. But then I was like, well, I want a John Wick figure. And I remembered the Matrix ones. So I got the one of Neo in the real world doing this,
That's right.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Cut the hair off, and I gave him a little clay beard and some hair. And that was when I started to learn about like customizing, doing YouTube searches. There was a guy, I can't remember. I don't think he got a customizer name, but Greg Sarabia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he actually used to be local to the Portland area, but I
didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he worked for Leica, and he had a YouTube channel where that's how I found out about like a lot of different supplies and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still active. I need to look him up, but yeah, his stuff was really incredible.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Figure Realm. Do you remember that website?
I had a account on there for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was on there constantly. In which I found out about from our boy Bing Bang, aka ZS. I leave his initials just that.
Yeah.
So so he was the one that got me more into sculpting and told me what a Dremel was. So
Figure Realms is still around. It looks like. Oh,
it is. Really? Yeah, every now and then I'll get an email that's like somebody commented on your thing, and it's like my earliest customs. I'm just double checking the chat here. Guys, I'm gonna try to make sure to bring your comments in. I'm just trying to catch up on.
I think you had some late entries too to the giveaway.
Yeah, I saw Tori from Portland. I got. I think
Meg from Portland.
Meg from Gresham. Let's see.
Gresham,
here. Thank you all for joining. All right,
it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. I saw B-Ry say he fears getting into figure customization, but the little stuff that I do, just letting your imagination kind of take over and finding different ways to represent things in your mind. Like it's not like writing, but it's similar to that. It gives you that creative outlet. Like it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Can I ask you a question, Ibrahim?
Yeah.
Something I've been curious about. So for me, like sometimes I will just be digging through stuff and I will see one part, and then that's all it takes. Like I'll see like, oh, here's a head, and I'm like, oh wait, this is the dope thing. I'm gonna make this. This is the project, and then I just start collecting around that one thing. Does that happen to you a lot?
For me, it's the opposite. And real quick, I just want to bring in Blur Dad Live said, Ibrahim, your recent collection tour was outstanding. I wish someone would make an affordable Aston Martin for figures. Thank you, man. And yes, I agree.
Yeah, I would like that.
We need more like affordable vehicles, and it can be done. And I don't know why it isn't, but anyway. No, for me, I will have the idea first of like, I want to make a figure of XYZ, right? And then I'll start kind of looking at the character, and I'll start going through a mental inventory of my head of what I know would work or what I have. In the event that I can't think of something right off the bat, I will go into my bins, like you said, and I'll go looking for that thing. And sometimes that's when I go, oh, I forgot I had that piece. This would be perfect for that, Nice. But it always starts for me with like the character I want to make. Because since so many of mine are based off of like existing stuff. Like you do a lot of original stuff that's like you're kit bashing things that nobody would ever think to put together, and like, but no, I mean that in a good way. Like it's so creative, you know what I mean? Like
it's not wrong. Your Shadow Star like was super legit, man.
Oh yeah,
like, I remember that. I was like, "What is that Shadow Star?" I'm like, holy crap! Like that's freaking amazing.
Well, what about you, Alan? Like, I know that you've been like collecting parts for a while now, and
I mean,
I never asked you guys, so I'm just curious.
I want to hear this, but keep going. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. Hey man, all all that, trying to figure out that stuff got my nerves up. I'll be right back.
I mean, I think a lot of my inspiration generally comes from like media or entertainment or like songs or something. Like for me, it's a moment in a movie. It's something I've seen. It's like an amalgamation of just different things. Like I'm very much just like I'm the person that I hear a movie and a song and I'm like, that's my song. So like for me, it's like I see something. There's little pieces. Like I just watched a clip from the Book of Eli the other day, the fight scene with the whole water and the people surround them.
Oh, like, yeah.
I get images like that in my head of just like these scenes or like little pieces of dialogue that happen in movies. I think there's like I don't know if it's 10 or 12-minute Hamlet Kenneth Branagh version where it's just like a non-stop, no cuts at all. He just does a straight monologue. So for me, there's like those little moments of like stills and things like that. And I've not been able to translate it into like toys, but like I think that's where my inspiration comes from. Like I'll see something, it's a little piece of this, it's a little piece of that. And I think with me, like when we sit down and I'm talking about like, hey, I kind of want to do this, you're adding different things in and to kind of help me. But yeah, it's just little pieces here and there. It's not a part, I don't think. It's something that I see in my head that I'm just like, oh, that would be kind of cool to kind of make. Like I have like 5 or 6 customs that of that I want to make. It's really just, hey, Ethan's in the chat. Sorry, random. It's really just taking the time to like, am I going to do this thing, or is this exactly the image I have in my head of what I want to do?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a little different but similar. But yeah, that's how my brain kind of works when it comes to like imagination and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I get it. And here's the tricky thing too, is like I can make a custom and like Ibrahim said, I'll do some like original thing, right? But 6 times out of 10, it won't even be permanent. I'll end up changing that thing 2 to 3 more times before I
was going to ask you about that, because I know sometimes like I'll see a part and you like, it's like almost like you had a better idea for what you wanted to do with it or something,
Yeah, I actually just went through all my projects last weekend and just scrapped a bunch of stuff. Like I was like, no, because I bag each one separately and I throw the parts in there with like that. Like, okay, this is potential everything I need to make this type of character. Yeah. But I just got rid of a bunch and just started over. So
the docs, I do plan to do more giveaways like this because it's a fun thing to do and it's a great outlet for like, sometimes I want to make a thing but I don't need it or it doesn't fit into my collection, so it's like that those are good opportunities for me to be like pass it on to, especially because like I don't have time to do commissions, and that's a big part of why I don't do them, also because then it just turns into a job. I mean, making a YouTube channel based on it is already kind of a job, like and my day job being art, it's like usually on a deadline for somebody to some degree, and so it's like everything I do would just be like I owe somebody something all the time, and that would be miserable. But so this is a way that allows me to like get stuff out to people who might want something that I made without all the pretense of all that stuff. What up, Feezy's Figures? Thank you for joining, man, and thank you for the congratulations. Remind me where you're at, dude, because I want to enter you for the giveaway thing here. Feezy has a great channel as well. Check him out on YouTube. And by the way, Sean, let's plug your channel real quick because Thanks. Sean has a channel that he just started a couple months ago and he's already at 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I'm at about 1,070 right now.
Yeah, man, that happened quick, dude. It took me like a year.
Oh, okay. I have a channel called Serious Slack with Serious Black. And I do interviews with comic creators and other creative types, and we talk about their past work, previous work, or current stuff, what they're doing in the future. But we also talk about mental health, and we talk about what they like to do when they're not doing what we know them for. So the point of my show is to get to know the person behind the products that we love. And then I make them do music video reactions.
Yeah.
So, I would appreciate it if you guys check me out.
Go check him out. I'll put a link in the show notes. Put it in the show notes. Jamie, can you pull that? No. Also, shout out to the homie Ethan Slayton, who
That's right.
I don't know if he's still in town or not. I know he's
End of the
moving.
month, he's headed back to New England.
Yeah, so
Vermont.
I
yeah,
thought
we
it was
miss
going.
you, buddy.
I thought he was going off planet.
Well, I mean, yeah, that too. To
Okay.
get abducted or something, you know.
Right.
And Sean, actually, we have some photos of some of your stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna add.
Yeah.
So this looks like. Well, you walk us through this.
Okay, so that actually ended up being. That was actually one of my first Gundam model kits. It was the Master Grade Zaku 1/100 scale, and I love Zaku's. But then I was just like, I kind of want to do some weird stuff, and so I took it apart and kept the paint structure that I did on it. Which shout out to my homeboy Gorilla Customs. He actually helped. He taught me how to paint like this. And then I think that is a Fortnite toy underneath there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a Fortnite toy. But I took the hands and the arm off of that, and then I just kind of dremeled out the hole a little bit, and then just added some soft goods that I got from like GPS lot on eBay, which a lot of customizers know. And then the shoes are from
we're putting their kids through college, man.
right. Tell me about it. And then those kicks were from an old like DC Collectibles Beast Boy.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
See,
And I was
that's
just like,
one of my favorite things about like a custom like this is that like you don't know. First of all, like I don't know Gundam, so I didn't know that was what that was, right?
Yeah.
And then secondly, like I think because of this type of figure, I wouldn't think that like a Beast Boy from DC Collectibles or whatever would have even been remotely compatible, let alone would my mind connect those two. So I love looking at something like this and seeing like, you know, the creativity that goes into like the part sourcing because it's so out of my realm, you know.
One day,
Big shout out to Lee Howell. What's up, man?
Hey, Lee.
Lee, all the way from China, I do believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Ooh.
and then DC Animated Customs. What's up? Great Customizer is doing like a whole line of DC Animated Customs, just like I said, and they're really good.
Check that out.
He adds like cell shading to them, you know. Like
Oh, that's dope.
Nice.
DC Animated. Let me know where you're coming at because I think you're in the States, right? And I would love to enter you into the contest for the giveaway. Anyway,
cool.
sorry, Sean. Continue.
No, I would say one day I would love to be good enough to add lights.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like magnetized LEDs that you can use now and stuff. I haven't taken the dive into that stuff yet, but and then I got another.
Oh yeah.
So these are a bunch of vehicles, obviously.
Yeah, I just put them up there to get them out of the way right now. But the girl on the Ray bike, I think I honestly don't remember where she's from. That might be.
I think it's
Fortnite.
one of the Fortnite ones, right? A little bit of Fortnite.
I think I know Hasbro made it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But I saw that figure, and that was one of the things I was like, I'm gonna buy that and turn it into something else immediately. Like it just, and so I did. I actually took off her bottom half and switched it out with old 3A parts that I had, and added jeans and 3A boots. And then made that backpack out of a McFarlane Fortnite figure, and then used like the wire that comes in toys, where they try to strap it down to prevent you from stealing or whatever. Yeah, I keep those all the time.
Oh, me too.
Because,
yeah.
because those, right? Me too. Yeah, because it turned into an electric wire. So I got it. The other side you can't see it's attached to this hammer she carries, and so I've got the backpack connected by wire, so it's like an electric hammer type thing. And then I was like, I think she deserves this bike more. So, I'm probably gonna go back and repaint the bike a little bit. We'll see. Yeah.
Is that did you say that was Black Series or
the bike is Black Series. The figure is. I don't think it's Fortnite, y'all. I think it's.
I thought it was
some other game that Hasbro was doing for a while, and that line got canceled. I can't remember right now. Somebody in the comments help me.
Overwatch maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It might be Overwatch. It might be. Yeah.
At least the head sculpt I thought was, but
the top half is still the original stuff, and then I did remove the shirt because she had like a rubber tank top weird thing, and I gave her a real cloth tank top.
Yeah.
And then we got this one.
Yeah, this is the one I want to talk to you about. So,
well, first of all, let me see if I can. Is the ape from Tarzan?
Nope.
Disney's Tarzan? Oh, okay.
No.
Nope.
It almost looks like a Disney style with the.
It does a little bit. It does for sure. You know what? Let me.
Pat Ennis says it's a Fortnite character.
It is a Fortnite character. Actually.
Yeah, okay.
So if you can see here, there's his face a little bit. He's got a Public Enemy hat.
Oh, nice. Throw away. Oh, I should be able to. Make
Alan, you should know what this is.
There we go.
Yeah,
Animal Kingdom.
that's right.
Yeah.
Beast of the Animal Kingdom or whatever. Of course it would.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
All right, so Alan was collecting these, and he
Yeah.
he did the Kickstarter and all that, and I saw it, and I was like, "Yo, I need that gorilla." That's it. Just
Well,
need
because
that
you for a
gorilla.
long time you were doing a lot of like ape-based stuff, like with the NECA
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes. So I remember you would do like a Sin City.
Gorilla Detective Gangster.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what's Bruce Willis's character in that movie? I always forget his name. But yeah, with the
Yeah, I
forgot.
not Negan, Hardigan. With
Hardigan,
the
there
tie
you go.
blowing in the wind and the trench coat,
Yeah.
and it just has like a Caesar head on it or whatever.
I did that, and then I got into like making robot gorillas and monkeys and stuff. But I saw this was like a fantasy one, so it came in full decked out armor.
Yeah, you did.
You know, and I was like, I'm stripping all of that. Yeah, I'm
So,
stripping all of
I need
that,
girl that was on the shirt.
and then because I still had a lot of 1/6 parts, this is a 1/6 scale tank top and some pants that I customized, and then these shoes are actually from a broken Mezco Public Enemy figure.
Oh, okay.
wow.
Back when
That's
Mezco
what
was
I
doing
had.
those like
Those, yeah.
chunkier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so when I removed his armor right here, I did notice that there was this cool just joint here that looks like a robot arm. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna paint that silver.
Yeah.
Just
Nice.
yeah. So that's how.
So that was actually on there. That was like the inner part of the bicep.
It is.
That's wild because it does
Yeah.
look. I'm gonna go back to the
Yeah, the picture.
close up
yeah.
of it here. It looks like a robot part. Oh, you can even see the L where it says for the left, and that actually works really well because it just looks like it was labeled for the robot part. Too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was like. I was gonna sand it up, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm gonna leave that. I think I will add some more to the arm though later on.
That's awesome. Nora said she wanted the lion from AWOC. Remind me what AWOC stands for again?
Animal Warriors of the Kingdom.
Of the Kingdom. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that lion is nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That-
Nora,
there's a lot of
she-
stuff in that line.
She tends to. I feel like Nora. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you really love like the anthropomorphic ones because we DM a lot about those, and we're always like, Noda has that cat, that kung fu cat coming out.
Ooh,
you know,
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. And we were talking. Oh man! Shout out to Damien. Said my son Kyle was living the stream. He had your Superman video on repeat. Man, that's awesome. I haven't seen that kid in a long time. I gotta.
That's really
link up
cool.
with you guys. I remember when he was born. He's probably knows his own social security number now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Nora says I need that kung fu cat. I know. I was.
Yeah.
I have like I have a display that has the Noda Wukong figure and one of the other ones that came in that 3-pack, and then that V Toys Sura, I think it's called, like the red demon looking guy with like the big sword and stuff. So I kind of have one of those
You have
for
that?
that sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
He-
a cool figure, and it's
He-
sort
he
of my
had
like.
that.
He had
Yeah, it's sort of my like.
disappear.
Yeah.
You know, what would you call that? Like fantasy kung fu sort
See,
of.
this is why we're friends, because I have the other one, the one that's a white ghost who looks like Orochimaru from Naruto. From the same line, I have the other guy,
Oh, okay.
and he's for my fantasy kung fu show.
Dude, you gotta have one, man.
Yeah, because Nora, if you haven't seen it, you got to check out those kung fu pandas, the yin and yang pandas. Oh man, those are sweet.
I feel like we were messaging about those at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, those look really cool because they're like opposites, right? Like inverted, like color swap palettes or whatever. Or palette
Yeah,
swap.
and they have different faces too and different weapons, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's dope. I'm just checking the other one real quick to make sure that we didn't miss anybody. Yeah, I think everybody who wanted to be here is here now, so I'm gonna stop stressing about the other one. So let's talk real quick about how we all met because it's kind of funny. So out here in the Portland area, we have a chain, comic book store chain called Things from Another World, right? and it's ever dwindling. There used to be 3, now there's 1, I think, and
1.5 maybe.
And another one down in like Universal City Walk. In
No,
LA,
the Beaverton one is still there. I think I heard.
Is
the
it?
Beaverton
Okay.
one, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, is Milwaukee gone?
No, Milwaukee's there.
No,
Portland's
Milwaukee's
gone.
still there.
Okay, I was just
Yeah.
that
So that was like the one, because I grew up out in Beaverton, and that one was my first comic shop. Like a guy I worked with was like, oh, I was getting back into comics, and he was like, oh yeah, Things from Another World. It was like down the street from the Hollywood Video we worked at. So I started going there, and then when I moved further east to Portland proper, I was closer to the Hollywood one, so I would go there. And they had this Kotobukiya Batman Begins statue. It was like a PVC statue where he's perched on the bat signal. And I was going in there, and I kept like looking at it like, oh, I'm gonna pick that up one of these days. Like, and I go in one day, I think I was ready to buy it. Like I finally was like, because it was like $50, and I was
it was $50.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, is that thing gone? And they're like, oh yeah, this guy got it actually for $3. And I was like, what? And they pointed out, and then I was like, how did you get it for $3? And they're like, there had some like
with some random sale or something.
Yeah, it was based on some kind of thing that had something to do with the number 3. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It was like lucky winner got it for $3. And I was like, do you want to sell that to me? Like I was like, I'll give you $20 for it. And he was like, oh, I don't know, man. And I was like, I gave him my card, like I was a cool guy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He did.
Give me a call if you change your mind,
I was kind of like, okay. But let's rewind. Let's rewind real quick how we got to this moment. So I'm from Boston by way of Kansas City. But one of my best friends when I was in Boston, his dad had a comic book shop. So that was kind of my entry.
Okay.
Moved to Portland in 93. Went to Grant High School. So we had this weird thing where we had like 50-minute lunches. So I'd go to the McDonald's, buy Things from Another World. I'd be there first. I'd get my McDonald's. And then I'd go to the comic shop and I'd hang out there on my lunch break. Pretty much like junior, like all 4 years or whatever. And then one of my friends ended up working there. Actually, I think I pretty much made friends with like all the managers there because I just always like hang out there on like new comic book day and everything like that. But I do remember hearing the conversation because we were up at the front. I think we were like talking. We were arguing about some character or something, and you were up by the front stacks.
Yep.
So
Where it was on like a display thing by the window, and I'm looking for it. Like,
yeah. And I remember looking over, I'm just like, who is that? And he did give me his card. I was kind of like, okay, dude, like, I got it for $3, like, because
here was the thing. I remember distinctly, you didn't seem like you were like really that into it. Like you just like bought it because it was $3, so why not? You know what I mean?
So here's the thing.
And so I was like, well, let me see if I can get him to sell it to me. Like
everybody knows this about me, but if there's anything on sale, if it's on a sale, I will buy it. Do I need it? It doesn't matter. It's on sale. It's on sale. Am I gonna resell it? No, I just want it. I just want it. But so that is how we met. And I don't know, we didn't really connect at that point. Because I remember I kept your card, I had it. I never actually opened it. I never opened it.
Right.
That's so bogus.
Yeah. It just went in the pile with all the other stuff that you didn't care about.
That's the thing for $3.
Oh my gosh.
So then I never heard from you. You never called me.
Right, never called. No.
And then like months later I was there again, and I think you were there with Mikey.
Yeah.
And
probably.
So you guys had become friends at that point.
Yeah.
And I was starved to talk to anybody about comics because I didn't have any comic book friends at that point. Like I had gotten back into reading them a couple years prior, and I was going to like the local, before we had Rose City Comic Con, we just had this little like Portland comic book show one day thing at like in the basement of the auditorium, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I started going to the shop and I was getting my weekly books, and I remember Mikey was there. And if you know Mikey, this is going to sound hilarious and true. He's just like a dude who just seems like he wants to talk to you about comics.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
So I heard him talking about something, and I just kind of slipped in, and it was like, and I just started talking to him about it. And Mikey, like once he gets going on a nerd related subject,
Yeah.
he's going. So he had no he wasn't like, who the fuck is this guy? He was just like, he just turned it at me, and then we were talking, and then it became like a triangle of conversation, I think, with the three of us, probably.
Because I think that's how I met Mikey. I was there at the back stacks going through back issues, and somebody was talking about Green Lanterns. He's like, Kyle Rayner is the best Green Lantern. I'm like, John Stewart. And then it just, we just went at it for like an hour. And
that's how y'all started? Wow.
That's how we started. I remember it because I was just like, no, it's John Stewart. I just went back, like, you just pop into the conversation, and I just went back with my business, but it just walked in. See, Ibrahim, here's what's funny. I remember, I feel like the second time I saw you was at Emerald City.
That I think it was the third, because unless you weren't there with Mikey that day, you might not have been there with him that day, and I'm just misremembering.
Well, I might have been, but like I think that's when I realized you were an actual artist. Like you had given me your card, but I was just like, yeah, okay, cool. This guy.
It might not have been my like art card though. That might have been my like. I used to sell mattresses, and it might have been my Sleep Country card that I wrote my number on.
Like, get a mattress, if you want to sell this fat.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah,
let me know if you need to lay down.
But I remember seeing you at Emerald City specifically because you had it was you and your friend. I forget the name of the book. But I was like, oh yeah, I know. Maybe the second time was, and then we reconnected at Emerald City. Because I remember the Emerald City stuff very clearly too. But.
Yeah, so because I had met Mikey once at that point. So at the very least, I had met you both once. And then I had a book that I wrote and drew that I self-published. And I was tabling at Emerald City. I think it was my it might have been my second year tabling. And it was like my third year going. And you guys came by together. And I think that might have been like you know each other moment.
Yeah, I think that would have been you guys.
And then Mikey started talking, and he had the podcast Chronicles of the Nerds, which I would later join, that we did together for years and years. But and Mikey was like an aspiring writer at the time, so we talked at the show and stuff, and then afterward he hit me up when we were back in town and was like, "Hey, I'm in Bendis's writing class at Portland State. Like, I have this comic idea. I need an artist for it. Like, would you be interested in?" Or no, maybe he wasn't in the class, but he knew Bendis. I think that's what it was. He just
I know he took the class though. I know he took the class for sure.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. But he was like, yeah, even Bendis said this was like a good story idea. Like, I want to, So we started talking at that point.
Good Blood. That's not the comic. Sorry, I saw in the chat too.
Good Blood. Oh shit, that's the homie Chad. He was there.
Yeah.
Shout out Chad, dude.
Sorry.
That's me and Chad used to go to that show he was at the first one I went, or no, the second one I went to with me. First year was my cousin and I, and then the second year was me and Chad. And that was like our annual pilgrimage up north from Portland to Seattle to do that thing.
Up there.
That's what's up.
But yeah, and then eventually, I started doing the podcast with you guys. I think Mikey, I think when he hit me up to draw that comic, I was like, man, I can't. I'm working on some other stuff, but like, I'd love to come on your podcast. And then it was just like, hey, do you want to be a regular? And then it was, that's how it was from there. But and then Sean, we met because he started working at Things from Another World after, like, pretty much right after you moved here from Chicago, right?
It was, I moved here in like November, and I was working at Things by January.
Yeah. And I remember specifically Aaron introduced me to you, and he was like, hey, you guys both like hip hop. Sean makes music, like, you guys should talk. And it was just like instant friendship from there.
Yep. Pretty much.
And I'm sure, I don't know if you guys met independently of that, if we all just were in there together.
I know, I can tell you how I met Alan. Okay, so.
Because I don't remember, man. I don't remember.
Okay. So when I first started at Things, I was just manager of the Milwaukee store. And then at some point, I became the manager of Milwaukee and Portland. So I started going over to the Portland store, and that was back when it was just on Sandy.
Yeah.
And so Aaron was still working there at the time, and he was training me and all that to take over and all that. And then Mikey had a box there, and Alan had a box there. Also, so did Keelan King. Shout out to Keelan. And because that's how I met all three of them, was like learning their subscriptions, filling their box, and upselling them everything that I could.
Pretty much.
So, Yeah, I had that number, and
Yeah, we all had subs at that store, and eventually, like, we all started going together, I think. And well,
Yeah,
Alan would always go during his lunch break, I feel like, but there were times when
but
we'd
like,
all hit it up.
I'd tell like, when are you guys gonna be there? And I'd be like, I'll make sure I come by at the same time.
yeah, there was definitely some sync up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, because I remember seeing all of y'all. Even Keelan would show up sometimes with y'all. And, well, with you and Mikey for sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's how I just started hanging out with this guy. I don't know. I liked his comic style, and he's a good conversationalist. And then you and I, like you said, it was like, oh, hip hop comics too. Okay, okay, word up, son. Like yeah.
I remember you blew my mind once because I came in and I was like, I had just been listening to Dilated People's "Worst Comes to Worst," which is like, it's an okay rap song, but the beat is incredible. Like that Alchemist beat,
Beat carries.
I remember I came into the store and I was like, man, you remember that song? Because it came out, it was like 10 years old at that point.
Right.
And you were like, yeah, there's that line where Raka says, I got worldwide family all over the earth. And I was just like, you're right.
Yeah,
that's a stupid line.
It's a stupid line.
I think of that every time I listen to that song. I'm just like, man, that really is a dumb line.
Right.
Shout out to that song, but yeah.
I equate that to Run DMC's "To Burn My Kingdom, you must use fire."
That's generally part of the deal.
Yeah.
Thank you, Luke. Yeah, and then real quick, B-Rye, he fits into this origin story because he found our podcast through Nerd Fight, I believe, which was a special episode we would do that Mikey put together of just like, who's the best Robin, and then people would argue about it.
It's always Nightwing.
Yeah, and then
you try to start it up now, man. Stop that.
No, that hypothetical. Oh, but I should mention too, Alan eventually.
It actually happened.
Well, Alan did eventually sell me that statue, by the way.
I did.
Oh, okay, word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like because I moved into this apartment complex, and him and Mikey were looking to move in together, and I found them a spot, like an apartment in that same complex with me.
Yeah.
And I think once they were living there, like, it was like, Alan like couldn't hide that he wasn't doing anything with it anymore. So he finally sold it to me. But,
just walking in and seeing it on the table, like, okay.
Yeah. Still in the box, never open, but
it's a good thing you made me. Hey, after handing you my card, you spent a third of your life in bed. How about spending 20 seconds of your life selling me this?
I don't even know what I would have done with that, son.
I was kind of like, okay, thanks.
It was, this was back when we didn't just go like, all right, put your number in my phone.
Yeah,
so it was really like it was just like a thing you did. Like, here, take my card.
It's a bunch of dudes at the comic shop too, so it's like.
See, you should have hustled though. Like you was hustling, but like you could have got a killer deal on a mattress.
Hey, man. I'm telling you, not anymore. I've been out the game for too long. But
get out, man.
So also, I wanted to chat briefly about some stuff that's coming out that you guys might be excited about. Like we're getting into. We're kind of just before like the big announcements.
Oh boy.
Okay. As of this recording, it's June 13th, and so like San Diego's right around the corner. Mezco Toy Fair, their own little thing they do is right around the corner. Mezco Fest, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So we have yet to see like some of the big announcements, but one that we were talking about on the side, and I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Okay.
Was let's see, this guy.
I know what he's talking about too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
Sean, we talked briefly about it, but I don't think I know if you are planning to get this one or not.
No, I'm not going to go down that line because if they are, first of all, like I think it's dope that they are going to do animated series stuff, but like, for me, it's just like, okay, y'all making another Batman. Mezco, you have made like 27 Batmans at this point. Like, I got one Robin out of y'all. Ain't no Batgirl. Nightwing hasn't actually shipped yet. Like, can we get some other people besides another Batman?
I mean, Batman sells though, but I do understand exactly where you're coming from. Like,
but I also don't want to get into. Oh no, that means this is going to be a Joker. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
See, and that's another reason why I'm not doing it. Even though I do have the animated series Batmobile, and that would be dope in there, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, I'm super tempted as well, but I'm not going to. But I will say this is like my Batman. Like outside of seeing the Keaton stuff when I was a kid, like this is the stuff I grew up with that holds the most iconic value. No, I can't. I'm saying I'm trying to. I already got like 5 Mezcos. I got to stay out. I got to stay out that game, man.
That is looking pretty cool, though.
Here's my thing with it.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that there is a like 1-to-1 soft goods representation of that version of Batman, right?
Yeah.
And I think it looks good. My issues with it, for one, is that I kind of swore off Mezco, and people who watch the channel have probably heard me complain about it. Well, like, just, time after time, like, I just have to fix them. Like, they show up and they're not, and the Pattinson Batman was the one that just, like, broke me, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
That was such a pain, and, like, it was so wrong, and it's, like, it should have been an easy thing to get right, I feel like. So... At that point, we've seen so many delays with them and so much like, the way they change from like this, announcement solicitation to release. I mean, Hot Toys does that too, but at least they show you like blogger photos before it starts shipping, so you can compare the two and see what they did to change it.
I might get that head separately later. That Batman. Bat accident head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
no, bat poop.
I love the silhouette of this. I love that it looks like the cartoon in proportion. I think that the head sculpts just look like you can't see his mouth. Like they need like a dark line.
Oh yeah, the paint app, right
and
there,
that wouldn't be like a betrayal of the way he looks in the cartoon, because they draw a line in black on his mouth. So like, I'm going to skip this one because I have a custom that I made that is doing the job for me, and it fits more within the aesthetic of like what I'm trying to do, which is like a realistic version of this.
I was just going to say, like, your stuff, the word that always comes to mind is utilitarian to me. It's very grounded and work.
Yeah.
I like it to have more of a realistic kind of feel to it in that way.
Same.
Also,
and that's why I'm not getting it, because it's so stylized that I can't put it next to anything else.
Right. And if you collect different versions of Batman, like then that totally makes sense to, and I'm sure they're gonna. But see, like this Joker, for example, this looks to me like those ones that are like a PVC head and neck.
Oh yes, it's gonna have no.
And it just like it's sewn up to it kind of looks like that. I feel like that's my other criticism of this is Mezco. I like when they take liberties and make it their spin on a thing, because why not just pay $25 and get the McFarlane version of this then? Or if you still have the old DC Direct one that they did DC 10 years ago or whatever,
Man, some of those scopes on those were amazing.
Yeah, so it kind of feels to me like, I don't know, like, but also it's not that hard to put together a prototype and to take real photos of it. And these are I think that is what this is, but they also look so heavily photoshopped all the time that I feel like I can't really trust what we're getting. Like this version, especially, like this looks like it was, airbrushed to give it contours and shadows and stuff.
Absolutely.
And I know they're trying to match the aesthetic of the cartoon, but it's just like, the Battinson one was really heavily photoshopped too, and it may be more visible to me because I use Photoshop and I know the ins and outs of it. And it's like once you know that, you see the matrix.
That makes sense.
John says the cape is suspect. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Yeah. Also, Lexi, welcome. I see you. I'm going to add you to the giveaway. We got big shout out to California, Illinois, in Texas tonight. We got and Florida. Those are probably the biggest like populations by state here.
That's interesting. One of the other things I was going to say too is I'm also a little bit practical with my collecting, because I'm not the kind of collector that like once a line comes out I have to get all the stuff in that line. I only buy based on directly what appeals to me and the vision I have in my mind of my toy world. Like, because I could buy an Iron Man, and when I buy the Iron Man, it's not Iron Man at all. It's some other stuff that it's gonna be by the time I'm done with it. You know, and so for Batman, I have the Mezco Batman versus Superman Batman.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily like the head on that. So what I do is I've already spruced mine up, and I just have 15 different Batman heads that I like, and I just put them on there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then put other accessories on it, like the armor and the stuff like that. So
I am tempted by the Joker because I do want to make, you know, you probably, if you subscribe to the channel, you've probably seen my Superman animated head sculpt that I made.
Yeah.
I do want to make one of the Joker and a Batman one for my existing figure, right? And then I'm tempted to make a Joker, and I feel like I might get it just for the body and the outfit and stuff, you know.
What if they made a Lex Luthor?
Ooh.
That's actually one I plan to make. I
figured.
Honestly, I want to
makes
do
sense.
the whole Superman animated cast, like just the main,
Yeah.
like Jimmy, Lois,
Yeah.
Lex, and Superman. Yeah.
You should do Supergirl too, though.
Robert, I did get you. Thank you for checking in. Oh, what up, Paul? Paul, rep in LA. Thank you for this is only my second live stream, so you're good. The doc says, "Can y'all live stream daily? I'm really enjoying this. Not gonna lie, LOL." Thank you, man. You know, it is something I want to do more. So,
I'll be down if you want me to.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
we'll definitely
I'm down.
start maybe once a month or something would be cool.
Yeah.
Telly Savalas, Lex Luthor, yes. You know, I didn't realize that too. It was based on it for a long time,
yeah.
and once I realized that, I was like, oh, now
Makes sense.
it makes sense.
You know, one of my dream customs would involve a voice chip. I want the Flash and Lex Luthor's body from Justice League, just to have him say with that part that he says, "Aren't you going to wash your hands?" And he just goes, "No, because I'm evil." I want that.
Love it.
Oh, shout out to Figure Fortress. It says, "Not trusting these heavily Photoshop promo shots. We're getting a display prototype at a con that'd be better." I agree, and I feel like they don't always. They don't ever make a big deal that they bring them to the con. Really, like they'll post one on Instagram, but it's always like the people in the community who are at the shows that you got to follow to be like,
Yeah,
oh,
100%.
I think Legion's Con is one of the better ones for doing that. They really, all the people that show up there really have their prototypes there and present. Like,
I really want to start getting to some of these toy cons and like, what's the big maker one in California that they do every year? Designer Con. That'd be a really cool one to go to.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Jesus 32. I think that's probably supposed to be Jesus, right? I know your name is up there, but I lost it in the thread. So now I just need the Ibrahim, Superman, and Clark heads. A little update on that. I actually just finished painting the Superman heads today. So I just need to make the Clark heads, and then I'm going to be good to go. I'm waiting on. I ordered some printed up certificates of authenticity to add in the packages. So once those get here, I should be done with the other heads, and then I'm going live with it. So the newsletter is forthcoming. You can go to my website, IbrahimMustafa.com, and click on the newsletter tab and sign up if you want to get on the mailing list for when those go live. I mentioned before, but I'm not going to do pre-orders on these. I'm like, I don't want to be holding on to people's money and having them wait on me. I made as many as I could make, and then they're going live, and then I'm gonna give everybody plenty of heads up. So there's no like, oh, I didn't know it happened, or as little of that as possible. And
Word up.
Let's see. Luke says, I would love to see you do full Justice League team customs. Man, that would be cool. Like, are you talking like animated style? I've thought about that. That may be something I actually do. We'll see. But then, see, this is how my brain works. The Justice League version of Superman looks a little different than the
it does.
And the Batman too.
And Batman
so then I'm like,
he's got the longer ears.
Yeah,
right,
longer.
and they go out more, and then he doesn't have the yellow, So then I'm like, okay, do I have to make a second head sculpt? And then my head starts, I'm like, how much shelf space do I have? So yeah. Somebody was saying that they just started collecting Mezco at the end of the year. Oh, it was, I just started collecting
Jesus, aka Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't do our. What's that?
He has 13 Mezco Batman.
Yeah, well, they have more than
They've
that.
made that many.
Yeah, they've made more than that at this point. Like,
No, I was just like, okay.
I ain't gonna lie though, I do buy them sometimes because it's a good base body.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
For
yeah.
customizing. Yeah,
Absolutely.
he's got killer boots, yo.
Yeah, no, I've used a few for different stuff.
Actually, you know what's funny? I think, I kid you not, this Tom Strong, I think is a
Oh,
Batman.
hold up. Let me solo you real quick.
Yeah.
How do I? There we go.
Yeah, this Tom Strong, I think, is a Batman chest underneath there with some like old Punisher arms and Bishop boots.
Oh,
That's
yep,
dope,
yep.
man.
Yeah.
Did you iron on that thing, or did you find that on GPS slot, or what?
No, it's not GPS. It's the guy. I forget his name. I'll put a link later, but he's the one making a lot of the Invincible soft goods.
Richard
right now.
Linklater.
Yeah, I talked to him. Yeah, yeah.
So you said
Oh, yeah.
Linklater. I was making a dad joke.
Yeah, yeah, I know, I got it, but I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
trying to skip over that real quick because it was bad.
Don't do that.
But
Do that.
oh, my bad.
It's history.
You're correct.
My bad. I
no,
cut you off. You're trying to.
no, I don't remember the guy's name though, and I feel bad because I buy from him all the time. But he's making the 1/12 scale Invincible outfits. But he used to do a lot of like just plain jumpsuits, and he's on eBay and Instagram.
Charles.
Seaford Charles.
Seaford Charles. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I messaged him one day, like when I was still talking to him through eBay, and I was like, "Look, I really want to make a Tom Strong. I want this." He also did the Blue Beetle one. I made a custom Blue Beetle a while back. Ended up selling it to somebody. I'm trying to talk him into doing Mr. Terrific.
Ooh.
So, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. I you know what? I'm finally excited enough for that movie, the Superman movie, that yesterday I was like, what we were talking about earlier. I was looking through my stuff, like, do I have something that could be a Mr. Terrific? Because like, I'm trying to think of what would work for that jacket, and you know.
Exactly. The jacket is
Yeah.
the hardest part.
Yes.
100%.
Robert Ott says you should do a customizer live stream once or twice a month and have a guest customizer where you can show what you guys are working on and they can show their custom. Yeah. So I was actually planning to do that for a long time. I was going to call it Customizer's Corner, and I was going to have, and my bandwidth was low, because work, you guys know, my work is just a crazy amount of hours and I can never do anything. So, but that is something this year that I want to start doing. Like I say that halfway through the year, but hey, man, I think crossing the 10,000 mark was a good thing for me to go, okay, this is for real. Like I can actually start putting more time and effort into this because, people care on a level that it's not a waste of time and that sort of thing. So
100%.
That's definitely something I want to start doing. Yeah, so at least once a month a live stream where we get on here, maybe have a fourth person come on to talk customizing with us or something like that. I think that'd be cool.
Absolutely.
DC Anime Customs is talking about the slippery slope before you know it.
I mean, right?
Lives with a couple hundred. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like I keep a paper list sometimes of all the figures I'm trying to make, and because you know how it is, you guys probably I know you do this too. You start buying like parts that you see because you like, oh, that's a good deal on that base figure that I could use for something. Let me just buy it now while it's a good deal. I'll use it for something, right? And then before you know it, you got stuff everywhere, and you're just like,
that's definitely Cookie Monster. That's definitely him.
My problem is I'm like, I just want the figure for that one part, and Sean's like, just wait, and I'm like, it's already pre-ordered. Sorry, buy the whole thing. Buy the whole thing. There's
a guy on Mercari. I can't remember his seller name, but I buy individual pieces from him all the time, and he doesn't price them in a like a ridiculous way. Like they're very reasonable for like what they are. Like
okay.
And so sometimes I'll just buy a body from him with the outfit on. Like I bought the Dick Tracy prune face without the head from him.
Oh yeah,
and I think it was like $60 or something, and I was like, that's reasonable. You're getting a full suit that you can't get anywhere else, plus a body. I would spend that much just trying to get those parts individually, probably more. Yeah. And the figure was $85, $95. So like, it doesn't come with all the accessories. That makes sense,
Yeah.
My two main sources are Basement Collectibles on Instagram and eBay.
Yeah.
Shout out to him, shout out to Curtis, and then Elijah Ellis on the Facebook group, the Mezco 112 Parts. He's always giving me great deals, and that's where I'm like, He's always just got like boots, hands, whatever, and I'm just like, yeah. And he'll stockpile them for me, so I'm ready to ship. I'm like, just keep putting it to the side.
I picked up a couple things from Basement Collectibles on your recommendation, and he came through, shipped it quickly, shipped it, well secured and all that stuff. So
oh yeah, no, he's good.
And the cool thing is he'll post on Instagram before they go up on eBay.
Yep.
So you can just message him in PayPal and he'll get it off to you like the next day.
Exactly.
So
that's what's up.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I don't know, what do you guys think? Maybe giveaway time? We've been going for a solid hour here, and I know it's getting late for people on the
I did want to
Coast.
answer one last question that one last thing. You said, what are we excited about pre-ordering?
Yes,
pretty much. If you just go on 5K Toys, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff on there, I'm just like, okay, that one, and then that one, and then that one, and then that's mostly what I get, because they make all the cool import soft goods, or they have all the cool import soft goods. So that's me.
Yeah, and they have. I like that they have a reward system. You only get $5 off at a time, but it's like free shipping generally is what that amounts to, which is nice.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So real quick, I want to do one last call for any entries. Name and where you're from. Got to be in the States.
Ooh.
It's the only thing. Lee, I did get you, by the way. And Lee Howell, and then we will answer a couple questions real quick. Paul's asking, "What's in the giveaway?" It is this custom 112 or 12-inch Spin Master Superman that I customized on the channel recently.
Bex also asked a really good question.
Yeah, let me pull hers up here. Where'd it go? I just saw. There we go. I want to know if you guys have a favorite figure that you've customized. That is a really good question. I'm going to throw it to you guys first while I try to answer.
Favorite. Oh, yeah, of course. But of course, I don't know where it is right now because I play with them all the time. I can just describe it, though. It is from a Mezco Dawn of the Dead Zombie 2-pack set. I took the bald head zombie, and he's got like half his face missing. And so I took one of the old McFarlane pilot spawn jet backpack things. Remember he came with that weird mask that used to flip around like that and cover his face like that? And it had like this big scope eye. I cut and dremeled that and then dremeled out his face and implanted that into his head. So now that metal piece is his eye. Jeez. And then
that's cool.
I removed his Mezco arms because they had those weird single joint elbows. Replaced them with Marvel Legends Moon Knight arms that were double jointed. So he also got the butterfly effect. And then here he has a swivel, and replaced those with Batman gauntlets. With that, and he's got, and then it gets better. His lower half, right? I replaced with I kept his lower half because he had double knees, but got rid of the boots, and he's got Marty McFly gym shoes, and he's basically a cybernetic super cop. He's got like a shirt, jeans, gym shoes, and like a bulletproof vest, and he's got like a ton of guns.
And the boots with the fur. And
he got those apple possum jeans.
Yeah. What about you, Alan? What's your?
Do I have to follow that? I went simple. Actually, here we go. Sean helped me put this one together. It's like my version of Mercer. It's like a Spider-Man Marvel Legends head with a I think this is like a Cable or Winter Soldier arm. It's like the second version of Mercer. Got like a little cyberpunk jacket on.
I love that jacket.
Dude, is really. I mean, I had this on like 5 different figures actually before it settled on this one. So
is that from the McFarlane one or?
This is the McFarlane.
Yeah, it's the McFarlane one. Yeah,
yeah. Okay. That's like the samurai thing on the back with the little emblem. But that's a good head. Yeah, that was a really good head. Yeah, it's like I don't know what Peter Parker one is, but it worked because the second version of Mercer in the G.I. Joe, the Real American Hero scale, he had like a full-on beard and mustache. In the movie version, he had that high top. So like, this works.
He is a good character.
Yeah, it was like I said, it was the one I always played when I was a kid. So there you go. And then pre-order,
I feel that.
I'm gonna share a photo of mine. Alan, when did you make that one? By the way, the one you just showed.
This one, I think I made this, had it for about a year and a half, maybe 2. Yeah.
And is that jacket soft goods? Because I know
No,
It's not.
This one is now.
Jada Toys is doing the soft goods cyberpunk ones. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So actually, before we go on, so like this is a soft goods that Sean gave me, and it's a GI Joe Stalker body. This is my version of a black Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. That's legitimately my inspiration because like I wanted him to have the 6-shooter gun, and so I put that there. And as it started to come together, I'm like, okay, like a little bit of Book of Eli, a little bit of Rick Grimes. He could have survived in an apocalyptic kind of wasteland. And the soft goods jacket, I think, just kind of ties it all together. He has like a little satchel on the back. So like
actually, you know what? That bag is actually O3A.
Really?
Yeah.
It's super dope.
Yeah, I love it.
It brought it like all together for me. So yeah, this is a really good soft goods jacket he gave me. It just I think it tied everything together.
Yeah.
John said he was looking for that head for years. I assume he means the Peter Parker one. That
yeah. Actually, our friend Nate, I traded with my friend Nate for that one because it's a specific Marvel Legends Peter Parker head that you can't. Like, I think when he had like a cosmic ability or something.
That's what that is, yeah.
Yeah, because there's also another version of this head sculpt that's darker that didn't work as well. So it's like, it was almost like bluish.
Was that when he had the kind of like Starry Night sort of.
It is that figure. It is that Captain Universe. Thank you, John.
Yeah,
yes.
Captain Universe,
Yeah.
That version had a lot of paint app problems, though, I remember. And so finding a good version of the head was also a challenge.
Seems like when they would use like a twirly plastic on, but real quick, shout out to Pablo. Pablo, where are you at, man? If you're in the States, tell me which state you're in. I'll put you in the entry thing. Yeah. Also, Omar, thank you so much, man. Big fan of your channel. Work is excellent. Ibrahim been sharing a lot of your videos. I appreciate that, dude. You know,
nice.
In a time when people share like absolute like what somebody referred to as short slop to me recently, it means a lot that you would share something that I worked hard on, because I feel like all day I get inundated with like people sending me stuff that's like, you know, like I had a friend say something. He's like, "Why don't you share my shit to other people? Why are you sharing other people's shit to me?" And I was like, he didn't say that about me because I don't send him stuff like that, but I was like, damn, that's a good point. You know? Yeah. Oh, shout out to Tyler Crook. What's up, dude? Thank you for joining, man.
Tyler.
What up, Tyler?
Artist extraordinaire, writer and artist extraordinaire. Tyler Crook.
I actually got to see him recently in person, which is, you know,
I didn't know about that.
Not enough for me.
Bummed. Yeah, I would have gone to that.
Shout out to Tyler and Ma'at, the two of my favorite people.
Definitely. Jay says, just want to say I'm enjoying the stream. Glad there's some positive enthusiasm on the feeds. Thank you, bro. Always a pleasure, man. All right. I'm just checking in one last time. And okay, Pablo, you're in Canada. I do apologize. I'm trying to do something for the long distance folks next time. The giveaway is happening right now, as a matter of fact. So
right after you show us your custom, don't
your custom.
Oh my bad. Okay, real quick.
Yeah.
Very quick answer. Let's see. My it's sort of the all-encompassing answer of my Ninja Turtles that I made. I have some others that I really love, but those were like, I had no idea if it was going to work. It was like, there's no, recipe that was like conceivably existing already for this. Like it started with me trying to find a shell, and I found these like little bath toys on Amazon. They were like $10 for a 4-pack of different turtles. And I was like, okay, let me see if I can make this work. And they showed up and they were the right size, because I didn't really know. I was taking a chance, I was like, $10, I can return it, and it just happened to be the right fit for like a 6-inch body. And so I just, from there, I mean, these things are totally Frankenstein together, but all in all, they're pretty solid. Like, they're not falling apart, thankfully. And they're a seamless Ninja Turtle, which is what I've always wanted. So
you chose the best turtle of all 4.
Oh, don't you start. Don't start.
I will say I've become more of a Leo guy over the years, but Raph has always been my favorite.
I'm still a Donatello guy. Sorry.
That's the beautiful thing, is there's never a There's never a bad or never a wrong answer. Townsend Art Studio, shout out, man. Thank you for joining. Where are you at, dude? I know. I feel like you told me where you are geographically, but I can't remember. So let me know, and I'll put you in for. All right, so that's the
Ben is right.
last call, Mikey for the win. I know you're. Yeah. Ethan says there are no bad turtles. That is true.
No, that's
New
true.
Jersey, New Jersey. All right.
Jersey now.
Okay.
In the house.
That's our first. I think that's our first jersey in the house. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody hanging out. Let me share my screen so you all can see this. So you know there's no tomfoolery going around here. All right. So we got 38 names in there, and I'm gonna hit the shuffle button so that I'm gonna do it a couple times so it's all random.
Okay.
And here we go. I don't know if that sounds
Winner.
Ooh, here we go.
Is that?
Oh, it's going to my guy Long in California.
Nice.
Congratulations,
Okay.
Long. Big ups to that guy. Long has been a big long-time supporter of my stuff, and I appreciate you so much. So this is a very nice thing that it's going to you, my friend. I'm very happy about that. So I'll message you on the side and get your shipping info, and then I'll get it out to you on the quickness. Yeah, big shout out to Long. Thank you, my friend.
Real.
Thank you everybody for submitting and being part of this. We got everybody congratulating Long. I would bring them all up, but it's a lot, so we'll just let's see. Yeah, I'm really excited about that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But you know what? The cool thing is I was looking at this list and I was like really pumped for this to go to any one of these fine folks in here. So
Oh yeah.
Long, I would like to request that once you receive said Superman and you pick a spot for him, that you send a pic so we can see where his new home will be.
That would be awesome.
For real.
And thank you, Long, for the congratulations there. I mean, Jay Robert Deans, what's up, my friend? Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I know I need to get back to Heroes Con. I only went 1 year and it was a blast.
Sorry, I just read a comment that had me cackle like that. It made me high pitched cackle.
Oh, is it the one from Lee?
Yes.
Lee said, "Can I give Long my card if he doesn't want to keep it?"
Oh my god.
That was a great callback, Lee. Thank you.
That's good.
Robert says, "This was awesome. Please do more." Yeah, we will, man. This was, I was excited to have these guys on with me because like I said, we've been friends for years and years, and I was like, I think it would be pretty natural for us all to just get on here. I also want to have These Damn Toys back on. I don't think you guys know him. Sean, you might have interacted with him on Instagram, but
I do.
He's become a good buddy of mine online via toys and stuff. And he was on the first live stream I did a year ago. So I'm going to try to bring it all and,
Yeah. If you don't mind, I'd like to give a shout out also to D Amazing. I have to be real. D Amazing. A lot of other toy people know him, but he was the one that put me onto import toys back in the day and made me realize the quality of import toys.
Yeah.
Especially with Kamen Rider. I had a huge Kamen Rider collection because of him. So.
Yeah, I like his channel. He always keeps it positive, and he takes incredible photos, as we all know.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Long said, not gonna lie, Tokusatsu, as a Tokusatsu fan, I'd be down to buy a 12-inch Ultraman figure pairing with suits. That would be cool.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
Hey, hold on. Oh yeah, you just showed me this one the other day.
Yeah, I'm actually making a street rogue Ultraman right now, so I gotta find some weapons for him. Love me some Ultraman.
Hell yeah. I've never seen an Ultra. I gotta, my wife the other day, she was like, we should have a movie month, Kai June. And I was like, we should do that. We've only done it once we did Keanu Vember and watched a bunch of Keanu Reeves movies. So, but June's half over and we haven't done it yet. So we,
you could have Kai July.
That would work. I wanted to shout out to let's see where to go. Director's Wheelchair Productions, The Amazing is Excellent. Also, thank you for joining the stream. And yeah, John says you married a good one. I did, man. I think my lucky stars every day that she puts up with me. I know that's like such a husband thing to say, but for real, that can be a lot. So, all right. Well, I think that's probably gonna wrap us up here, you guys. How long have we been going here?
Almost 90 minutes.
84 minutes. Yeah, so going on 90 minutes. Yeah. I just want to give everyone another just big thanks. I mean, the folks that showed up tonight, you know, I'm seeing old names and new names, people I've known for years, people that have just found my stuff. And yeah, like the support is super appreciated. You know, it's really hard out here to be like an independent artist, you know, like I'm my own boss basically. And, you know, it's a lot of work to just keep your head above water and trying to make all these different things happen, and support from folks like you is like the only way it really does happen. So especially in times like this where there's so much economic uncertainty and just like upheaval and, you know, bad stuff happening, like to know that we have like our communities to turn to. Like, I mean, I've been saying to people in my personal life a lot, like community is the only way we get through this stuff. You know?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was important for me because I wanted to try to find a way to, you know, pay it back a little bit by trying to offer something as a thank you. You know, I mean, I know, you know, the videos are free and stuff, but like to have like a tangible thing is a cool way to, you know, try to, you know, give back a little bit. So thank you to everybody. Check out Sean's channel. I'm going to go back and edit it into the show notes once we're done here. And Alan, thank you for coming through, man. Thank you for selling me that Batman all those years ago.
What would have happened if I had never bought it?
That's hilarious, yeah. Oh, by the way, I do want to mention, I'm sorry if you don't mind me.
No.
Alan will also be on my channel because he's reacting to Kamen Rider shows with me.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
nice.
never seen Kamen Rider before, and so I'm showing him those, and we're due for some more episodes, homie.
We are, yeah. We'll be doing more.
Also, we're talking about doing some collection tours of their collections on my channel coming up too.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that because I think that'd be a lot of fun. All right, so I think that's gonna do it. Thank you all so much, and you know,
This
see
is
you
a
the
lot
next
of fun.
one. Remember to keep your head on swivel.
Thank you, Ibrahim, and congratulations.
Thank you. Man. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you for joining me. All right, we'll see you all next time.
Peace.